Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is Barry, the dog who saved 40 lives. Hello, little one. Settle into your pillow. Pull the soft blanket up to your chin. Tonight we are climbing high into the snowy mountains above a small Swiss town called Martigny. Martigny sits in a quiet green valley. Old stone houses lean against each other along narrow streets. The air smells of fresh bread and apple wood smoke. All around the town stand the tallest mountains you can imagine. They are called the Alps. They wear thick white snow caps, even in summer. If you follow the road north out of Martigny, it begins to climb up between the cliffs. The road winds higher than the clouds. The trees grow shorter, then they disappear. The wind starts to hum a low, cold song. Your boots crunch on icy stones. Your breath makes little clouds in front of your face. At the very top of this long, slow road sits a thick stone house with red shutters. People call it the Great Saint Bernard Hospice. Monks have lived in this lonely house for almost 1,000 years. They came up here long ago to help travelers cross the mountain safely. The hospice was named after a kind monk named Saint Bernard of Menthon. He opened its doors long ago so no traveler would ever be lost in the cold. The monks keep a fire burning day and night. They light candles in the windows. The warm yellow glow guides lost travelers home through any storm. And starting around the year 1670, the monks began keeping big, friendly dogs. The dogs pulled small carts. They warmed cold kitchens. They watched the heavy wooden doors. Then the monks discovered something wonderful. These dogs had a magic gift for finding people in the snow. Our story begins in the year 1800. That is the year a very special puppy opened his eyes for the first time at the hospice. He had a soft white coat with red-brown patches. He had bright, kind eyes. He had paws as big as little plates. The monks looked at the puppy. They smiled. "We will call him Barry," said one monk softly. And little Barry, wagging his tail in the candlelight, was about to become one of the most beloved dogs in all of history. Barry grew up running through the stone corridors of the hospice. The floors were cool. The walls smelled of pine smoke and beeswax. He was not built like the huge Saint Bernard dogs you might see in pictures today. Those bigger dogs came many years later. Barry was lighter and faster. His chest was wide and warm, but his legs were quick. He weighed about as much as a small grown-up. This was on purpose. The monks needed a dog who could leap through deep snow without sinking. A heavy dog would get stuck. Barry could almost fly. He learned his job by watching the older dogs. Nobody trained him with whistles or sharp commands. He just trotted along on practice walks, sniffing where the older dogs sniffed, listening where they listened. At first, young Barry's nose was clumsy. He bounded after butterflies in spring. He chased his own tail across the cool stone floor. But every winter, he watched the older dogs at work. He saw how they paused, how they listened, how they sniffed slow and steady. Little by little, Barry grew wise like them. The snow began to whisper its secrets right to his nose. By the time he was 3 years old, Barry could do something amazing. He could smell a person buried under deep, deep snow. Every morning, he padded into the warm kitchen. The room smelled of fresh bread and onion soup. A copper kettle whistled on the stove. A monk would crouch down and rub his ears. "Good morning, Barry," the monk would say. "Eat well. The mountain is busy today." Barry would gobble his breakfast. Then he would press his cold nose against the wooden door, ready to work. His task was always the same. Travelers crossed the pass on foot, carrying letters and bundles. Sometimes a sudden storm caught them. Sometimes their feet slipped on hidden ice. When a traveler did not arrive at the hospice by nightfall, the monks worried. That was when Barry went out to look. He could find a person under the snow when no human eye could see them. He would dig with steady paws, clearing the powder from a cold face. Then he would do something gentle and clever. He would lie down right beside the lost traveler. He would press his big warm body against their chest. He would breathe slow, soft puffs onto their cheeks. His thick fur worked like a blanket. His warm breath helped the traveler wake up. And while Barry kept the traveler cozy, the monks hurried up the path with lanterns, wool blankets, and a little flask of warm tea. That is how Barry saved people. Not with sharp teeth or loud barking, with kindness, patience, and a wonderful nose. Of all Barry's many adventures, here is one story the monks loved to tell by the fireplace. It was a winter evening in the snowy Alps. A heavy storm rolled across the pass. The sky turned the color of old silver. Snowflakes fell as big as buttons. The wind whistled around the stone walls of the hospice. The shutters rattled. The candles flickered behind the windows. Inside, a monk warmed his hands by the fire. He looked out into the swirling snow. He frowned. "Someone is late tonight," the monk said quietly. He turned to the door. "Barry, come," he called. "Bring your warm coat." Barry padded over, his ears lifted, his tail held still. He knew that tone of voice. It meant someone needs us. Out into the white world they went. 2 monks held swinging lanterns. Barry led the way. The snow was waist deep on the men, but Barry hopped through it like a dolphin through waves. Step by step, he walked along the half-buried path. He sniffed the cold air. He listened past the howling wind. Then he stopped. His head turned, his nose lifted high. He padded off the path into untouched snow. He pawed gently at a soft white mound. The monks hurried over with their lanterns. There, beneath the powder, lay a traveler curled up tight. He was a young postman, the monks later learned. He had been carrying letters from one valley to another. He was very tired and very cold, but he was still breathing softly. Barry did not bark. He did not pull. He lay down right next to the postman. Like a warm, fluffy quilt, Barry covered the man's chest. He pressed his big paws gently against the man's shoulders. He breathed slow, warm puffs onto the postman's cold cheeks. After a few minutes, the postman blinked. He looked up at the bright lantern light. He saw a soft, furry face inches from his own. "A dog," he whispered, very confused. Barry licked his nose. The monks unrolled a thick wool cover. They poured warm, sweet tea into a little metal cup. They wrapped the postman up like a baby in a cradle. They helped him slowly stand. Together, they all walked back to the hospice. The lanterns bobbed. The wind softened. Barry trotted ahead, snow in his whiskers, looking very pleased with himself. Inside the kitchen, the postman ate a bowl of soup. He stared at Barry the whole time. "You saved my life, my friend," he said. His voice was small and grateful. Barry simply rested his big head on the postman's boot and closed his eyes. The fire crackled. The bread smelled wonderful. Outside, the storm grew softer, like a song slowly ending. That night, the postman slept under 3 thick covers, and Barry slept beside the kitchen door, paws twitching in a happy dream. That was just one night out of many. Barry worked at the Great Saint Bernard Pass for 14 long winters. Over those years, he helped save more than 40 travelers from the deep snow. A young shepherd who had lost his way, a merchant whose mule had slipped on ice, a pilgrim with a frozen map. Each one came home thanks to a wagging tail and a clever, kind nose. The monks kept careful records. Every rescue was a small miracle. Every life was a gift. As the years passed, Barry's whiskers turned silver. His leaps grew shorter. His naps grew longer. The monks watched him with soft eyes. They knew he had earned a quiet life. "You have worked enough, dear friend," one monk whispered. "Go and rest." They sent old Barry down the long mountain road to the city of Bern. Bern is a lovely city of old bridges and clock towers. There, in a warm house with a kind family, Barry napped on cozy rugs. He watched sparrows outside the window. He chewed slowly on soft bread crusts. He passed away gently in the year 1814, very old and very loved. But here is the wonderful part of our story. The people of Switzerland did not want to forget Barry. They preserved his beautiful coat with great care. They placed it in the Natural History Museum of Bern behind sparkling glass. And to this very day, children visit Barry there. They press their noses to the museum glass. They whisper, "Hello, Barry. Thank you for being so brave." You can go too if you ever travel to Switzerland with your family. That is not the end of the wonderful part. Up at the Great Saint Bernard Hospice, far above Martigny, the monks made a beautiful promise. From that day on, one dog at the hospice would always carry the name Barry. And the promise has been kept for more than 200 years. There is a Barry there right now, somewhere in the mountains above Martigny. He may be napping by the kitchen fire. He may be sniffing the snow outside the chapel. He is a great-great-great-grandpuppy of the very first Barry. Inside the hospice today, there is also a small museum about Barry. You can see old paintings of him. You can read letters from travelers who once said thank you. If you ever drive up the long, winding road from Martigny, you can meet a Barry. You can sit on the cool stone steps. You can pet his soft, furry ears. And while you do, you can remember a small, brave dog who once stepped through storms to find lost people. You can remember the gentle eyes, the patient nose, and the warm heart. You can remember that long ago, in a lonely stone house on the top of the Alps, kindness wore a soft, fluffy coat. Down in the valley, Martigny is quiet now. The bakers have closed their shutters. The bells have rung the last hour of the day. High above the town, the wind hums softly across the pass. A single candle still glows in a hospice window. Somewhere up there, a dog named Barry curls his paws beneath his chin. He sighs in his sleep. And so, Martigny also slowly fell asleep. Good night.